This is the 7th of April, 2018, and we're doing some series of activities on adding creativity to our images. So the first one is an idea from Andre Gallant back to 2011, and he has called his thing Expressionism Mirroring. So we're going to see what it does. This is one of the easiest things. Some of them you have to be patient to do. This one you don't. So if you will go up and use your file open, and come over to today's Saturday, April 7th, and you'll find one that says Creative Image Examples. And open that. You'll find Mirroring. Open that. And there are three things. And we're probably not going to do them all, but let's open the reef squid. And do anybody remember Charlie Jameson? He was a longtime member of the Camera Club, and I think I know, I looked at his image. It goes back to 2009, I think. But I saw this, and it's just the right one for this activity. So wherever you are, Charlie. Okay, so open just Squid and Jameson, and you'll have two projects you can work with. Oh, for some reason, they are opening this way. You know what to do. Open image. Oh, and the other one, I should have said select all. So I didn't get the squid. If you don't get the squid, say File, Open, Squid. I bet I have an option bar. Yes, look at this. Can you see? If I wanted to open not in Camera Raw, I can change format to JPEG, which will force it to open in the workspace. So some of these things, it's easy to go from one place to the other. But if you open two images in Camera Raw and you want them both to go into the editor, you must use Select All option. So both of the images are moved into the editor. So we're going to start, I think, in Elements. Of course, we want to make this fit the screen. Command or Control 0, so they're not covering up the option bar. We're going to start with Jameson's one, and I think I will, this is a case where you don't necessarily want them all tabbed above. If yours are tabbed up at the top, you can pull them off the tab bar. If I got this one up and it was tabbed here like that, and I want it to be free moving so I can see two images at the same time, I can grab the name and drag it off that bar, and it will float. So we'll work on it. At one point, you need to have two images available. So what we're going to do to start this out is make a copy of the background. You can do it with image. In full Photoshop, the duplicate image is under the image file, and in Photoshop Elements, it's under File, Duplicate. I'm making a copy of the entire file, not just a layer. So we're duplicating it, and it'll be named copy. We'll now have two versions of his thing there. And before we combine them, we want to take and make a mirror out of the copy. So here's the copy, and I'm going to make it flip horizontally. And so where this is located varies a little. It's under the Image menu. If you go to Rotate, you'll find at the top, Flip Horizontal. In Elements, the lower section is for flipping a layer only. The top is for actually flipping the image. So, and I believe it's under, is it the Edit part that finds it in full Photoshop? No, it's Image. I believe we're all in Image for here. So Rotate, Flip, Horizontal. Did you find it there, John? I did all these on Photoshop CC late last night, so I know they work. Yeah, so it's all the image file, no matter what software you have. Find the Rotate version. Go over and choose Flip Horizontal, which means the whole image is going to get flipped. And when I click that, guess what? It flips. And once it's flipped, I'm going to drag it into the other original file. So what I have to do is pull this off the bar so I see both files. You see them? And we want to center it when it goes on to the other one. We don't want it to be off to one side. So the way we move it is take the move tool, find your little move tool, and then hold the shift key down and drag this one until you're over the other image, and then just drop it. But keep the shift key down, and it centers it on top of the other layer. So that once I've done that, I don't need to keep this copy here open, because I have now put both images in one file. So the original one that I just dragged over, I don't need it. So I'm going to say don't save it and send it back. Now if you look over here at your layers panel, you have 2 layers, and each of them is a different direction. At this point, he says to change the mode. You see the word normal? That controls how this layer interacts with the layer below. The normal interaction is that it covers it up. So all you see is the top layer. We're going to go to multiply. So go normal and go to the first set, which is the darkened group, and choose the word multiply. It will be too dark. And his directions are simply to open a levels adjustment layer. Anything that you could do, this works great. Go to the little bicolor circle, which is a doorway to adjustment layers. Click on it, choose levels. When it opens, he says take the white point at the right. Move it in until you think it's bright enough, just till you like the results, okay? Now, this is the first way the mirror comes out, but we're not totally done with it. If you move and highlight the top of the 2 layers that has the image, this is the one you dragged in, layer 1 it's called for me, and you get your move tool, and you hold the shift key so that you can't wiggle it all over the place. If you grab the image with the shift key down, watch me, I can pull it apart and get what I think is the best looking combination. And by holding the shift key, I don't have to worry that I might go up and down and get them all out of phase. By using the shift key, I can either go up and down, left and right, but I can't just go off key and make a crooked flower. And each picture is totally different as to how it goes. And once you've got your mirrored image and you put it together and combine the layers so you've got one image at the end, then you can treat it like a new image, and you can apply any adjustments you want. You can lose luminosity things, brightness and contrast, just anything you think it needs. But this simply gets the mirrored effect. And if I was going to use it, I would crop it, right? I would crop it to get rid of this section over here. But we're not going to use it right now, so I'm going to suggest you close it and don't save it. We're going to do another one. Don't save. So you can go back and use it, but you're going to very quickly. The key to this, as Andre Gallant says, is simplicity. You don't want a busy background. Well, you can try a busy background. I don't think it's as effective as an image which is somewhat isolated. So some of your flowers might be good at this, and I'll show you later on one of the projects we do today that would also work here. So here is my little reef squid taken at night. And so we are going to do what we did. We're going to make a copy of the file. So it's got to be duplicate. In the elements, people go to file. Word is duplicate. Others, I believe it's under, is it image in the others? I think so. Anyway, the important thing is you're duplicating the whole file. It gives it a name and you say, okay. Image duplicate, and we have file duplicate. Okay. Now we have this image, and before we move it to the other, we've got to flip it horizontally. Now you realize you can flip it vertically, and when you try your own images, if you don't like or you wonder, do it twice. Do it with a horizontal and a vertical flip. See which one works better. This might be a neat vertical, but let's start with it horizontally. Okay, so I am going to the rotate menu, and I'm going to choose flip horizontal. Okay. And once it's flipped horizontally, you're ready to add it to the other image. So you separate them so you can see what you're doing. And you grab the move tool. And in order to center it on the other image, you'll hold the shift key while you move it. And as it moves, it makes a new layer in the other one, and the layer is going the other way. And last time we got rid of the original here, but because I might like to try the vertical, I'm going to leave it behind there, out of the way. Just leave it there so you don't have to open it again. And here is our file with the 2 layers, remember? And if you recall now, they have to interact. Right now, the top layer is covering up the bottom. So we go to the blend mode, which is normal, pop it open, and come down to multiply. And again, you know what you can do? You can try all these modes and see what you like. But we're going to be simple by following the directions first. Multiply. And of course, it's much too dark. So go to the door to the adjustment layers, the bicolor circle, choose a levels adjustment layer, bring the white point in till you think you've got enough vitality to see it. It's kind of neat already. So once you've done that, highlight the upper of the 2 layers, take your shift key to keep it from getting out of phase, and with your move tool, come out over the image and drag it and see what you like. See, this way works. This way doesn't. Well, yes, it does, I guess. I like to have a big fat nose in the middle, like this. And if you go too far, you could end up revealing the one under it. So you do it whatever suits you. And once you get the mirror that you like, you can save it, merge it together, and then play with it as a whole new image. You know, how we know how to lighten shadows or how to add. This would be great, I think, if you added saturation to it. And I found out you can't saturate it till you merge those layers. So you'd get all your basic work done, and then there's no reason to keep this file as a PSD file, is there? You're not going to go back and fool with this. So you merge everything, and then you got an image you can play with and do anything you want with it. So let's close this one. Oh, no, let me see. What would happen if we go to our history panel and we come back to open? Can you see that? We don't have to open it or make a copy. Go back to open. There is your original copy. And you see, you have a copy and you have the one that's the other way. Let's go and take the copy that's here that we flipped horizontally. Let's put it back where it was. How do you do it? Look at the history panel. Can you see here's the duplicate image and here's the flip horizontal? If you go back up one step, you'll get rid of the horizontal flip. And now I want to know what would happen if we do a vertical flip, just for the fun of it. So I'm going to go up to that rotation, image, rotate, and I'm going to say flip vertical. We'll find out. Okay. Once you've done that, you're ready to add it to the other image. So come on over here and take your move tool with the shift key held down, drag it over and let go. And now we definitely can get rid of this one now. Okay, the one we just moved, we don't need it open. We're not going to do more than one. Just don't save it. Okay. And now we've got the problem of changing the blend mode. So go from normal to multiply, and then come and open on a layer for levels. Brighten the thing up by moving the white point in. And then come to the top of the 2 layers, have your move tool and the shift key, and you're going to go vertically this time to change it. The other's better because it has eyes. But anyway, you can see it works that way. And the directions that I gave you say, try it out, you know. You won't know for sure, and you might eventually develop an eye which says, this will work better horizontal, and this will work better vertically. But experiment with it. It's a relatively easy procedure compared to some of the ones we're going to do that doesn't have a lot of steps. So close it, and don't save it, and you're back where you started. So that is the day with Andre Gallant. And on the back side of the day with Andre Gallant, I put some general directions for exploring using options in Photoshop or Elements. In terms of artistic filters, it talks about what images might work the best using them. If you haven't explored the filters, this gives you some guidance as to what you might think about when you go in and explore filters. So we'll put that aside.